Hey, Wrangler 4x80 fans, I'm out here in my garage, and I'm going to do a real-time hard top to soft top swap. I have the Garage Smart Lift. If you can't see that back in the background, I have the Garage Smart system, and I already had that for my other bikes, so my wife can get this bike down. It's kind of heavy. I've got those pulley kinds that you have to pull it down yourself, and I decided to get that one for our bikes. And I just decided to go ahead and get the Garage Smart for the hardtop. And let me tell you, it's a great solution. And I'll show you why in this video. And I have the app on another phone here. I have the app that you can use to put up and down the top, and you can see how you can do it by yourself alone. So I've got the soft top stored on the rack right now on the Garage Smart. So what I'll do is I'll back out the Jeep and I'll lower that down and I'll put take everything off and then go through the whole process of getting the hard top off and putting the soft top on. This is going to be a long video. I'm just going to preface that, but I want you to see in real time how this all works. Feel free to skip through if you don't want to do that, but I am going to talk you through all this while we're doing it, and hopefully I can back the Jeep out and my microphone doesn't disconnect in the meantime too. So here we go. Start your watches. I'm going to start my stopwatch and see how long this takes. So I store my soft top, all the parts and components that go with it. I store it on the Garage Smart Lift as well. And one thing that I did incorrectly when I installed all this, I had this all kind of shifted more towards the front of the garage, and I kind of had to. It's just kind of a small garage, but it's a tall garage, so I actually have to lower the garage door just about that far to be able to make room for the front end of the hardtop. But I'll show you all that here in a little bit. Right now, I'm going to get the soft top down from the Garage Smart Lift here. And I store all the soft top hardware right here in the basket that kind of holds the Freedom top. There's the directions that I never read, but for some reason I keep anyway. Now I'm going to be honest. The only part that is really hard about all of this is picking this up. I I'm 6'4", about 250, 255 probably if I'm being honest, and just being taller actually helps me be able to get this thing off the ground. But it is uh, it is a little bit of a weight to lift, but not bad. I mean, I can hold it out in front of me, so it's not horrible. So now we have the lift about where it needs to be. I have actually got a set point set at the height that I need. You can set these set points in the app. And sorry if that's backwards when you're watching this, but I can set the set point in there where it needs to be, to where I can back up underneath. The bad thing about it, turn off the phone, it will stop lifting. It's kind of a safety feature. It keeps you from doing anything in the house and accidentally lowering a hardtop by keeping it to where the app has to be open for you to move the lift up and down. So I do like that design, but sometimes I forget to set the phone down and it'll stop right where it is. So now we can get the Jeep and back it in here and back this. And this part is actually the lifting part. And you'll see that. But I go ahead and loosen up all the screws and everything hardtop while it is outside, and I have a little bit more room to do that. Now you can do this. You can do the entire removal using the that comes in the back of the Jeep. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the Freedom Tops. Do the driver's side first. We will put in a little bit. Now, we're seen this in your Jeep. This is a little tool bag you'll need. Now, you can do this with the ratchet, which is probably preferred, but I just get the tool out in my DeWalt drill. There. And there are 3 along each side. And there's a little spot right underneath your lift in here where you can put your hardtop screws so you don't lose those. Hopefully we can see this. Right in here, you have your rear window defrost connections and these water things you can wash the rear window off. There's a little latch. You unlatch those. Not too horrible. And there is even a little storage space for that plug, so you keep dirt and stuff out of the plug. You can just slide this thing right in here, maybe. It usually slides right in. The hose is in the way. And you can see all that, but you can see all. And that the 6 screws on either side top or 3 say. screws right down in here of how many you have left, because once you get all the screws out, all the holes will be full. Stored right there on the right side of the screen, or the left side, whichever. I think everything's reversed, so I can't know which way it's going to play out. So now this hardtop is completely loose from the vehicle, and you can just take it off right there. You know, like if you drove down the street right now, this thing would go flying off. So I'm going to close the tailgate, and I'm going to close the window and back it in, get it close to in the exact, which I never seem to be able to do. And maybe you get to skip ahead. The rack, it's hard to do by the vehicle. It's hard to get that. But I do know about how far back I have to put the garage door to make room for these front edges to clear as it goes up. They have to be perfectly centered is the nice thing. Once you get it in the air, once you lift it just an inch or two, it'll kind of swing into place. So I feel pretty good about that spot right there. Yes. So when you install your Garage Smart, if you go this route, you actually need to have room to be able to open the back window and the tailgate wherever you're. So I actually lucked out and saw that was going to be a need ahead of time. My initial idea was to put it back here in the back of the garage, but boy, I'm glad I didn't, because you have to be able to make room for that tailgate and that window and everything. So now what we're going to do is we're going to thing. I think I've got a set point at the right place. Yeah, there's my low set point. So it's sitting right on top of the hardtop. And that's when we take our net, and there is a front and a back of this. The back are the short straps. To come between the window and the shock, you don't want to come all the way around the shock, because you actually are going to shut this window once we get it all it to the point that we're going to lift it up and everything. And when you through, you want to of the roll bar, or else you're going to be trying to pick up the weight, the whole Jeep. So you want to make sure you get that over everything in here. And this is probably the cumbersome part, just making sure you get it over top of everything. And here's one thing I do almost every time, is I will bring it out this window, not realizing I am under the front part of this roll bar. So now I do have to loosen these straps just a little bit to get them out here, but we will tighten them up once we get all this in place on both sides. Here's the fun part of a small garage. This may be a part of the video you can skip ahead. There we go. We should be pretty much in place. I always like to snug those straps down once I get it all situated and know where it's at. All right, we are tight. All of our screws are out, and we should be able to lift away. And there you have it. And I will drop that back down once I get the Jeep out of the way, so I can put all my Freedom Tops in the bag and put them in that little basket and everything. But for now, we're going to pull the Jeep out of the way. And the one thing I'm always scared of is catching one of these in the door and then pulling out and yanking the whole thing off of my ceiling. So I usually will lay them in behind the roll bar just to make sure that nothing happens here. And I can put my garage door back up in place. Like I said, this is going to be a long video, but we are 18 minutes in, and we are probably not quite halfway, so this does take a little bit. I had done it in about 20 minutes, but man, that was hustling. And I did some talking at the beginning of this, so we'll see. I'm at 17 minutes right now. So let's put... Now, I have found the easiest way to do this is to not have this in the back of your Jeep when you go to do a video. And I have found the easiest way to do this is to turn this bag upside down. And this isn't going to make sense unless you see it up close. But I have a hard time getting the Freedom in there. Bag with the directions upside down. I hope that's a little tip that helps somebody else. And I start with the driver's side Freedom panel, I think. Yeah. And here's one of the reasons why it's easy to start with it upside down. You can get this thing out of the way and lay it down there, and you want to make sure that latches down. The rest of them don't really matter too much. And then you can lay that right across there. And these go, the easiest way to remember, they go the widest side toward the bottom of the bag. And there they are. And these store right in the bottom of this thing. And yes, my greatest fear is that one day while I'm doing this, the whole darn thing's just going to come crashing down on my head. But hopefully then I can catch it. And it wouldn't have to. I did. I installed it. I put all the rack, all the little tracks and everything. They are in trusses. You know, they are really mounted in the. I put a lot of screws in there and got them in there real well. And the hardware of the whole thing seems to be designed really well. So I shouldn't have that fear at all. All right. Now, is that all we're going to put in there? I think it is. So we'll raise this back up out of the way. And I've got a set point. I just push one button and it'll take up to the proper height. And of course, this is the thing I always forget to do until it's in place, is put the straps up there. And now it is stored out of the way where I can pull the Jeep in every day and it's not a big deal. So now we're going to turn to getting our soft top on. Now, if you have not done this process, there is some hardware that you have to add to the vehicle before you can put the soft top on. And let me tell you, the first time, it's hard to know what goes where. But after you do it a time or two, you kind of get the feeling for it. And as I say, I'm getting a feeling for it, and I'm trying to put that part on backwards. Now, you'll note these things are hanging down, and you'll see what those are in a minute. But I just wanted you to see how that goes on there. There are some holes in the top, right down in. And my running low, so I'm going to switch, and hopefully we won't lose our. But if we do, we will see. Are we still running? Are we still running? Yes, we're still running. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go around to the other side and put on the two pieces for that side. Well, let's see. Nope, what I've got in my hand goes on this side. Now you see this big open spot in here that goes away once we put these in place. And these are not in place yet. There are screws that go in there. I'll come over and do the passenger side. This is probably a part you can skip ahead a little bit. And when you first get your soft top, these two pieces will not be together. So you do have to put those two together the first time. I don't take those apart after that. I just leave those right where they are. Now, I have a whole bag full of hardware that once you get the soft top, once you take it off, you have all these pieces. And I just put them in a Ziploc baggie, and they were stored up there in the basket underneath the soft top. So you'll have to have a place for those. And to put the soft top hardware on, you have all these longer screws that have a shoulder that's not threaded. Those are what go right up in here and screw all the way through to that top screw. And I like to get these started by hand rather than using my drill to start them, because there is kind of a feel to it. You have to kind of feel where those things are. But afterwards, after I get them started, I do run them up in easily. I don't try to over crank on these. All right, now that is the driver's side. We will go around and do the passenger side together, and I'll show you these a little closer. These are the little flappy things. That's where the screw is going to go through. And like I said at the beginning, you can do all of this with the toolkit that comes with your Jeep. All of these screws are, all this stuff. You can take off the hard top, you can put it on the soft top, you can do all that using nothing but those tools that are in that bag. And I have done it that way. I'm just doing the drill for the sake of this video going just a little bit quicker. We are 26 minutes and 48 seconds in. Oops. In there. Now, almost all of our soft top hardware is now on, but there are some pieces that go back here in the back to, that's what your soft your rear window, that's what it snaps into when you put that in there. And one thing I always have to do with my screws is sort them by size, because there are two screws that I think are, see, are they specific? Oh, there's that one. Yeah, so these two that are left over are the long ones that are used for holding those down. And again, I don't like to over tighten these. I just get them down here and snug it. All right, now we have up here on the roll bar, we have these cosmetic pieces that come off. Now, a lot of people will leave this next hardware just on the Jeep all the time. You can do that. It doesn't hurt a thing. I take it off when I take off the hard top. I take them off too, because it's just a couple other minutes, and it's just one less thing for me to bump my head on if I'm getting in and out of the back of this thing. Now, on the back of these, this will go on the roll bar. You have these little teeth that sink into holes that are on the roll bar and makes them line up. If you get them wrong, they won't work. It's just, and there's a little arrow that says, hey, this has to go up. There it is. And at this point, you should have 4 screws left over, which I do, thankfully. And those 4 will be used to hold the soft top to these plates. Ooh, tighten that one a little tighter than I wanted. There they are. And these 2 pieces I throw in the basket with the rest of the hard top. And now is probably the worst part of the whole project, and that is picking up the soft top and getting it onto the Jeep. It's just kind of big and bulky, and you have to make sure you orient it the correct way. And the easiest way to tell that is, I hope you can see this in the camera, there are these locks that will be that you use to hold the hard top or the soft top down when you fold it down, and those have to be on the bottom. And let's just see if we can go ahead and get this in place. This is the part where it might be good to have a friend help you pick all this up and line everything up. I do have a bad habit of just muscling things and then paying chiropractic bills to fix it. And doggone it, wouldn't you know, I still got it on upside down. Okay. So I may have to show you on that side. There are little teeth that you catch. No, I think I had it right the first time. Am I a moron? Yeah, I did have it right the first time. See? The other problem is I have this cover on it, and I can't see which end is the front, but it makes it so much easier to handle it without it like opening up and going crazy and all that stuff. Oh, I see what happened. I think my latch came loose. This is going to make things difficult. Okay. There's a little screw I'm going to show you up close on this side that you have to get kind of hung into the bracket. And I don't know if I can get you this close, but this screw has a little place that just sets down in there, and we will align these holes later, but we have to get both sides hung on those little screws. And what has happened on this side, to give us an excellent Bob Ross opportunity, is the whole thing has rotated. I don't think I got it locked when I took it off the last time, and so we're going to have to get this in here. Actually, I'm going to unlock that. Oh, this is such a pain when it happens, but I guess for the sake of the video, I'm glad it did. Yeah, we're going to have to get the whole cover out of the way. probably a part where you can skip ahead a little bit. And I'll also end up putting that up in my bag with everything else. Now, one thing that can kind of help the whole process is go ahead and get these things in their spot. And I know it's going to be hard for me to show on camera without really turning it around here. And sorry if this gets upside down, but there's a channel that piece goes up into there, and you have a lever. See how it moves out of the way so you can get that up in here. Now this is in the channel that will allow the whole hard top or soft top to move once we get it up there. Boy, this thing's just whopper-jawed right now. And I think what I'm going to have to do to get this thing to kind of release, there we go, it's closer anyway. There, that's the orientation it needs to be in for this to all work. All right. Is this one out of its orientation too? No? I am struggling. This thing is fighting me to get aligned properly. So we're going to kind of move this into position a little bit to take some of the weight off. Huh. Well, that didn't work. Honestly, I've never struggled this bad to get these things to set in place. This is a horrible instructional video. I do apologize. I'm going to use these screws to kind of hold things in place a little bit on both sides so I can seat them. place. And I'll show you what I'm struggling to accomplish. That little screw needs to be in that little seat, as you can see there, and it's not. Oh, we're at 39 minutes. Oh, delays. So now, if I can get the top out of my way and get the weight off of it. Oh, get up there. Ooh, doesn't feel good on your arm. That's not what I needed to do at all. Oh. All right. I don't know why I had that issue. I've never had that issue before, where I have a hard time getting those things lined up. one thing you want to make sure you don't do is catch your seatbelt in these screws when you tighten them. I have done that before, and then somebody got in the back seat and was like, why can't I get the seatbelt to come out? And it was completely because I had grabbed it and pinched it in the screw when I put these parts together. I'm going to bring you in close here so you can see it is getting a little dark, so it's probably getting harder to see. But I'll show you the, maybe from the other side it's better. Kind of hard to see. For some reason I'm struggling to get these screws to seat in that little cup there. So I'm using an Allen wrench to back it out a little bit to give me some space to be able to leverage it all in there. And this is not normal. I have never had to do this before. So hopefully you don't have to. Oh, that thing was unlocked. So now we're going to have to rotate this. And you got to use just a considerable amount of force to twist this head forward and get it back in the locked position, or you'll have no chance of ever getting it in here. And there, that's how that's supposed to go. And get it down in there and get the screw in there to hold it in place. And then rotate that head back to align that bottom screw. I know this is probably all hard to see on camera, but get that bottom screw started. And like I said, you can see how you can catch your seatbelt in there and pinch it like that. So just make sure it stays out of the way. Okay. And then I am going to tighten that little Allen screw back to where it's supposed to be. Again, totally unsure why that happened this time. I've never had that before, but hopefully that helps somebody troubleshoot their stuff if they ever have that issue. And now, what should happen is we should be able to unlock our latches and swing this whole thing up into place. And your latches on the windshield go in just like the hardtop does, or the Freedom panels do. And now we have our windows to put in. Maybe I'll bring you around back here where we can see that a little easier. Now you may get confused as to which window goes where. Just remember that green horizontal strip on the bottom always goes on the bottom, and this always goes to the back. So in that case, that would have to be back here. If you tried that same thing on the other side, and put the plastic piece on the back and the green on the top, that's not gonna make it work. And you reach up here and grab that little guy and get it started. Getting it started is the hard part. And bring this far enough forward to seat in that channel on the front, and then snug it back a little bit. And this guy will just snap right up in here and snap into place. We have window number 1. And we have window number 2. And the back window is pretty self-explanatory because it has the big plastic piece down at the bottom. And all you have to remember is what's the inside and what's on the outside. And some people will take this thing off to make that a little bit lighter while you're putting it in place. I don't normally, because then I get confused of how to get it back on. And so, but it does take a little bit of the weight off and make it a little easier to get it in here and get it started. And bring that across. And all you have to really remember is that the the pieces that seat in there have the little latch on the top. Yeah, I had it wrong to begin with. They have the little latches on the top. Make sure those are on the top and not that part on the top. As long as you have that on top, you're in business. This is why I don't take it off. Now, the first time you do your soft top, this back window is going to be amazingly tight. And it's kind of a feel thing. You kind of get the feel for how to slip it in there. But man, that first time, wait till a hot day so that thing can stretch a little bit. And there you go. And that was 52 minutes. This video got over 53 minutes long, and I do apologize for that. But I had some troubleshooting to go through to get it all in place, and hopefully that helps somebody else. Even though I know this video got a little bit long, hopefully that helps somebody else with their soft top if you ever go to put it on. So there you go. Thanks for watching.